How are ya? How are ya? How are ya? This is the old redhead, Arthur Godfrey. I'm waiting to hear the only person other than myself, naturally, that I listen to on the radio religiously every Sunday. Steve Sheldon. Oh, damn. Who's calling me on a Sunday afternoon? I bet this better be important.
Hello, Mr. Godfrey.
It's not Godfrey. It's Godfrey.
I'm sorry, Mr. Godfrey. This is the head of reservations at the Worthless Kennel Hotel that you own.
I'm waiting for Steve Sheldon to come on the radio. Why the hell are you calling me?
Well, Mr. Godfrey, we have a couple here that wants to take the entire penthouse suite for the entire season.
That's wonderful. You looking for me to kiss up to you or give you a raise or a bonus?
Well, no, Mr. Godfrey.
Then why are you calling before Steve Sheldon's great show goes on the radio? That's the only thing I like. I used to like Hella Loki, that hot girl with the hula hula. So I would serenade her with my ukulele. I couldn't stop her because she preferred the way Tiny Tim played ukulele more. Then, who hit on her? One of my employees, Orange Julius LaRosa. I fired him on the air. So talking about on the air, I'm waiting for Steve Sheldon's show. So what are you calling when you have a couple taking the entire penthouse for this season?
Well, Mr. Godfrey, their names are Mr. and Mrs. Epstein.
Tell them we're booked for the next 35 years. Now, don't call again because it's about time for Steve Sheldon's show.
Steve Sheldon, inviting you to join us Sundays from 3 to 5 for 2 great hours filled with celebrity interviews, fun, laughter, fabulous music, surprises like Gay Cow from Dairy Queen, and very importantly, comps, dinners, shows, cruises, lots of fun. Each and every Sunday you're invited to call in as well. Steve Sheldon, Sundays. Dear God, please make sure that our many friends who listen to the Steve Sheldon Show turn off their cell phones, extinguish their cigarettes. If they're wearing kilts, make sure they're down. And please note, taking of pictures as the bright, flashy lights do affect my eyes, and then I cannot read my ad libs that I'm about to do. Thank you, God. Amen. All my friends listening, please respond.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Y'all, get out of the swimming pool. If you've been driving, pull over right now. It's time for our favorite weekend talk show host, Steve Sheldon.
So excited and doggone it, so delighted to be with you, my dear, sweet, loving friends. I look forward to this therapy all week long, to be here, to give you frivolity. Oh, God, did you read the news this morning? Terrible things are happening, but not on this hour. This hour is not to be controversial, we'll be entertaining, we'll be provocative, we may have some guests, we may give out some prizes, but this is for you, my close, dear, loving friends. I love spending each Sunday with you, each time with you. And the whole thing is, this is about fun. You go sit back. I've written some very good stuff for you. You're going to love it. Let's get some fun. I'm going to sing for you.
Nicht gegangen ist sie nur gesprungen, nicht gerett hat sie nur gesungen. Freilach lustig ist gewinn ihr Mine, und also gewinn ist mein Cousin. Freilach lustig ist gewinn ihr Mine.
Can't believe it. It's not showtime, it's airtime. Let's start with our intro. And talking about the Steve Sheldon Show, it's time to start.
Hello, everybody. How are you all? This is yours truly, Alan Freed. Get your dancing shoes on, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Dance Party.
Tiddly-yop. Oh, this is Jack, and I'm back doggone scene.
With the record machine saying, how do you do?
This meeting of the Swingin' Soiree is now in session.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Wolfman Jack.
We are the air. Oh, I tell you, baby, my audience deserves the very best. And New York City, we gonna lay it down.
Wait a minute. This is not Alan Freed, and this is not Wolfman Jack.
It's here, Living Radio. It's here, Living Radio. Living Radio offers you sounds to live by. News as it happens is living news. Sports come alive, so listen and get the facts of life.
It's entertaining,
Enlightening,
exciting,
exhilarating. Live with WKBW's Dig Beyond the Show.
Okay, this is not Dick Biondi Show. This is the Steve Sheldon Show. So could we please, let's try it again. My good friend, let's have this intro one more time for the Steve Sheldon Show.
Gather round, everybody, for you're about to hear. This is a show that's gonna make you smile. I'm in here, it's Ronnie Ginsberg on the Night Train Show. He plays the old and new, the swinging and the blue. He plays all the records, especially for you. It's Ronnie Ginsberg on the Night Train Show. So come on, honey, let's go.
Now, I had a wonderful hypnotist, and I booked him. I live here now in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I booked him in Utah. And this was at a party, and let me say, there was no liquor at this party. No liquor whatsoever. But I was there. I'm single. It was before the show. And I looked at the end of the facility, and I saw a magnificent-looking lady. And my whole body started to vibrate. And she was looking at me. And I was looking at her. And I felt like I was a teenager again, because I got nervous. My mouth started to get very, very dry, like it's getting now. And I started walking to her. And she started walking to me. And as time went on and we got closer and closer, my mouth got drier and drier, because there was just such great chemistry. And I picked up a cup, and I filled it. And I remember the first thing this beautiful lady said to me.
You beat me to the punch that time. You beat me to the punch.
Every single pudding box.
Good heavens.
For the proof, I had to get a drink. And you know what? I realized something. The proof is in the drinks. You pick up a bottle of vodka, 80 proof, a bottle of scotch, 100 proof, this, 80 proof. The proof is not in the vodka. It's not in the pudding. It's in the alcoholic beverages. Okay, Ryan.
The Commander-in-Chief took some time during a fundraiser at New York's famous Apollo Theater to croon a little Al Green to an audience that included the Reverend Al Green himself. When the president mentioned the soul legend was in attendance, he sang a snippet from Green's classic, Let's Stay Together.
So in love with you.
Obama then feigned surprise that the Sandman didn't come to yank him off stage, a reference to Apollo mainstay Howard Sims, who would comically usher failed acts back behind the curtain. This may be the most musical presidential campaign in recent history. The question is, Mitt Romney, what's in your repertoire? Let's Stay Together is a pretty good slogan, and it sounds like Obama has the Reverend's permission to use it.
You know, I'm not going to endorse any politicians. We're in election time. However, I do believe in equal time for all of the politicians, no matter who I prefer. That's personal, as with you, my dear friends. So what I'm going to do now, we just heard President Obama singing at the Apollo Theater, the world famous in Harlem, 125th Street and 8th Avenue, the world famous Apollo Theater. And now for equal time and fairness, we're going to play Mitt Romney singing at the world-famous Apollo Theater.
Holly came from Miami, FLA, hitchhiked her way across USA, plucked her eyebrows on the way, shaved her legs, and then he was a she. She says, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. Said, hey honey, take a walk on the wild side. Candy came from out on the island. In the back room she was everybody's darling, but she never lost her head. Even when she was given head, she says, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. Said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. And the colored girls go do 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 do. Little Joe never once gave it away. Everybody had to pay and pay. A hustle here and a hustle there. New York City is the place where they said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey Joe, take a walk on the wild side. Sugar Plum Fairy came and hit the streets, looking for soul food and a place to eat. Went to the Apollo, you should have seen him go, go, go. They said, hey sugar, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. Alright. Ha. Jackie is just speeding away. Thought she was James Dean for a day. Then I guess she had to crash. Valium would have helped that bash. She said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey honey, take a walk on the wild side. And the colored girls say, do 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 do.
Our great producer, Susan Stevens, is beckoning me, beckoning. What is it, Susan?
Steve, that woman is talking again. She's on the phone, and I can't stand her. She will not
stalker?
talk. Yes, the stalker.
Okay, you know what? I'll take the call. Is that all right, John? Good. Okay, thank you, Susan. Yeah, before I take the call up, it's unbelievable. I don't know what, in show business this happens. Not to everybody, but to a lot of people, they get attracted to appearance, a voice, whatever. And, to be admired is great. To be stalked is kind of fearful. So listen, young lady, I have you on the phone, and I'd like to know, because, I see you when I come into the studio. I see you when I leave the studio. I think it's you. I can't accuse you, so I'll use the famous word, allegedly. But I have a feeling that you were even going as far as going to my residence last night. Is that true? Tell me.
I rode my bicycle past your window last night. I
I have something that you need? Well, I'm really astounded. I have no idea whatsoever. What can I possibly have?
You got a brand new key. I think that we should get together. Try 'em out, you see. I've been looking around a while. You got something for me. Oh, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I asked your mother if you were at home. She said yes, but you weren't alone. Sometimes I think that you're avoiding me. I'm okay alone, but you got something I need. Well, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I think that we should get together. Try 'em out, you see. I've been looking around a while. You got something for me. Oh, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I ride my bike, I roller skate. I don't drive no car. I don't go too fast, but I go pretty far. For somebody who don't drive, I've been all around the world. And some people say I've done all right for a girl. I got a brand new pair of roller skates, and you got a brand new key. Oh, yeah.
You know, I have a caller, and let me just see. Hello? Yes, this is Steve Sheldon. Oh, yeah? You really think my voice is that passionate, huh? It's sexy? It's sensual? You're having a hard time hearing me. What's with your radio? You really love this voice, huh? Oh, you're calling from your friends? Well, let me ask you a question. What do you want? What do you really want?
Passion, I want feeling. I want to be rocked from the floor up to the ceiling. Make it rough, make it smooth. Just as long as I can feel the earth move. 'Cause something's missing when I turn on the lights. I need some music to help me through the night. I wanna know who stole my radio. I wanna know who stole my radio. Who stole the funk? Who stole the soul? Who took the rock out of rock and roll? It's a shame, it's a crime. What I'm hearing's just a waste of my time. Give me all the soul you got, and let me have some more, so I can feel the way I felt before. I wanna know who stole my radio.
Yes, maybe it's one of the Amish people that never listened to us. The Arbitron ratings came out, my close friends. Every nationality, every race, every age, everybody seems to be listening and enjoying the show, except for the Amish. Maybe the people stole the Amish potential listeners' radios. Maybe that's what it's all about. My radio, you know, it's a very competitive field. It's getting narrow and narrow and narrow because things are becoming automated. So it's so terrific when you do something live. My dear friends, it's quite a pleasure to tell you about one of the finest resorts in the world, Villa Roma Resort Hotel. Beautifully located in the beautiful Catskill Mountains in Sullivan County in the state of New York. Now, this resort is better than a cruise. It's like a cruise on land, except they don't give you Dramamine. There's no need for it. They don't give you little tiny staterooms or cabins, as they're called, either one. But what they do give you is indoor and outdoor swimming, indoor and outdoor tennis, shuffleboard, bocce ball. And so far as a camp, there's no finer children's programs than at the wonderful Villa Roma Resort. The Villa Roma is fantastic. They also have horseback riding. It's just amazing, the children programs they have. And, by the way, they have great entertainment. In fact, I saw our dear friend Sal Richards appearing here in Las Vegas. I think for the two of us it was $150. Sal Rich is one of the many great people and many stars that we'll get into in a little bit that appear along with music for dancing and opening acts. And they appear at the fabulous Villa Roma, and that's included in the very reasonably priced tariff. And you know what else is included? Probably the best food. It's excellent. It's yummy. It's delicious. Great food, great entertainment, great children's programs. And so for all of you adults with children, the moms, the dads, the grandparents that frequent this marvelous resort, Villa Roma, they have night patrol. So you can dance the night away and laugh and see marvelous singers and great people that you know from in show business. You know, I grew older in New York. However, I grew up in Barnes & Noble. And in Barnes & Noble, if you want to really, it's a great aid, is to find out about resort hotels, you go to a publication called Fodder's, very well respected. My dear friends, the Villa Roma Resort, Hotel, and Conference Center received the highly coveted Fodder's Best of the Best in Resort Hotels. So what can I say except, I know resorts. I've been dealing with them my entire life. And one of the finest resorts, if not the finest resort in the entire state of New York, is absolutely the Villa Roma. How do you find out about? If you like a brochure or to make a reservation, simple. Dial 800-533-6767. That's 800-533-6767, the fabulous Villa Roma. My dear friends, listen to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. Great news! Because we get all of your emails sent to us at Steve Sheldon at webtv.net. That is Steve Sheldon at webtv.net, requesting contests so you can get great comps. And boy, we have great comps. And for those of you that have received our comps so far up until now, we thank you for having enough class to say, hey, Steve, that was nice. Thank you. And for calling us also. So it's Steve Sheldon at webtv.net, and we have a contest coming up now. Now, I'm sure many of us have heard men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And we're completely different. The male has a certain structure, a female has another structure. And so we're going to have a contest now. There's no right or wrong because this is all done in fun. The only thing that's done for real is that when you do email us at stevesheldon at webtv.net, we do enter you in, and from drawings to cruises to fine restaurants to great shows, we do give out these wonderful comps for you. So we talk about men from Mars, women are from Venus. So now I would like to do this comedically, but as you know, when we play music, my good friends, it's the best music. It's music that a lot of us haven't heard before by artists that we have heard before. So right now, excuse me, on the Steve Sheldon Show, what I'm going to do is let you, my dear friends, be the judge. Who is more romantic on these two songs, the male vocalist or the female vocalist? Now, to make it apropos and to follow tradition, not from Fiddler on the Roof, but tradition period, we're first going to start with the lady singing about a man, and then we're going to go into a man singing about his woman. So here's first is a woman singing about her man.
I'd fix a breakfast that would please him most. Eggs and coffee, some apricot juice and some buttered toast. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Spend the balance of the day in bed.
'cause I don't want him, because he's not my man. I don't want him, you can have him, you can have him. I don't want him, you can have him. I don't want him, 'cause he's not the man for me.
Okay, now that was the female, the woman singing about her man, the woman singing about her man. And our contest on the Steve Sheldon Show. What we're going to do now is go right into a man singing about his woman. But first, let me just say, my dear friends, this is all in fun. But what's not in fun is you can call 702-685-9873. That's 702-685-9873. If you're not driving with a cell phone, please, we want you around because we love you. What am I doing? The Mickey Mouse thing here? M-I-C. See you real soon. K-Y-S. Annette Carb. Annette Atkins got, caught with his hand in the cookie jar because they did a scientific program that all the products he was sending out on his Atkins diet had 10 times the amount of carbs that was mentioned. So he said, well, I'll tell you something. Instead of being honest and owning up, what he should have said is, you know what? I'm not a scientist. I meant well. I wasn't honest lying. He said, no, they were talking about carbs. These are net carbs. What the hell is a net carb? I heard of a net funicello. What is a net carb? I have no idea. Did you ever hear of a net cheeseburger? Okay, now we just heard the woman singing about her man. And now on the Steve Sheldon Show, what we're going to do, I got my finger on this one, my friends, is we have a man singing about his woman. Here we go.
Oh, I don't want her, you can have her. She's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. Oh, I don't want her, you can have her. She's too fat for me. She's too fat, she's too fat, she's too fat for me. I get dizzy, I get numbo when I'm dancing with my jumbo. I don't want her, you can have her. She's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. Oh, I don't want her, you can have her. She's too fat for me. She's too fat, she's too fat, she's too fat for me. If she'd lose some, I would like her more some. I don't want her, you can have her. She's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. Oh, I don't want her, you can have her. She's too fat for me. She's too fat, she's too fat, she's too fat for me.
All right, so my dear friends, if you think that you know the answer to the first one, which is a female singing about her man, or the one you just heard now, a man singing about his woman and describing them both, just give us a call at 702-685-9873, 702-685-9873, or email us at stevesheldon@webtv.net. That is Steve Sheldon at webtv.net. Now, if we're going to get very daring on the Steve Sheldon Show, and if you can guess the artists, both the female, which was first, and the male, which is second, we will double the prize. Okay, so this is a very hard one to know. Are men really from Mars and are women really from Venus? Well, we're going to find out. So this is our newest contest for you our dear friends listen to yours truly, The Steve Sheldon Show. All righty, and we're here naturally in the dirt capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, where all of you love to listen because you're intellectual, bright, wonderful people, except for that man in the car. Sir, we have this request before every show. Please turn off your cell phone. I'm trying to focus. It's so damn... And you, young lady, don't take pictures because I've got ad libs I'm practicing for later. And it's blinding. It's blinding. And sir, with the kilt, put it down a little bit. Okay, okay. In the meantime, we're here from the dirt capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, where people live here with the most amount of culture. Okay? It's not here. Here we have one thing. Dirt. Everywhere you go is dirt. You don't see grass. You may smoke a little bit. That's up to you. But we do have here just dirt and wind. The dirt capital. We have 3 seasons here: summer, winter, and windy. So consequently, why do so many people live here? Because we can't afford the nearby, but that nearby, but closer than L.A., all the culture, including the museums, the art galleries, unless you're from Boston, the art galleries, and all the cultural opera, theater. And that's why all of you, my dear, sweet, loving friends, listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon, live here. Because we can't afford to live where all the culture is. Anytime you find culture, you find high-price places to live. But we are adjacent. Because here in Henderson, Las Vegas, Nevada, this is the gateway to Pahrump. And where is there more culture than Pahrump? Have mercy. Oh, it's nice to be with you on a Sunday afternoon. And for a long time now, it has been my privilege and pleasure to tell you about a wonderful travel agent and consultant, Janice Rounds. And we are very happy today because Janice Rounds is in the studio. And we're going to have something fun to do, and in addition to giving you all the information, because now it's vacation time. The economy's picking up, thank God. And we're going to be doing some commercials on the air and see which one. That'll be fun. As it says in the Talmud, which is a very good book, do not follow where the path may lead, go where there is no path, and leave a trail. And that's what we're going to do today for fun. Janice, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve. I'm thrilled to be here.
I'm glad you're here. It's been a long... Every time I say, we're going to get Janice Rounds to come and grace our microphone, and now you're here. And I have one disappointment, and that is I wish this was televised because you are dressed from head to toe magnificently. You look great.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yes.
I try.
Yes.
I try.
Now, you did a lecture recently, and where was the lecture held, Janice?
Well, actually, it wasn't really a lecture. It was just a little talk that I gave. I belong to a networking group.
Which one?
It's called Lake Tip International.
Lake Tip?
Lake Tip International.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And it's all business people who we get together once a week and help support each other in our business endeavors.
Great.
And try and help build each other's businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave a little spiel about my background and about my business.
What does Janice Rounds? It's so good to have you in person, Susan. This is our producer and on-air personality as well. And thank you for helping getting Janice finally to come on our show. And Andy's happy too. He's smiling in there because you were just a voice, and now he sees you here. I wish we were on television. Just made this Okay. This is fun now, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So, what question? Let me see. What made you go in to become a travel agent?
Well, my husband and I did a lot of traveling for many years, and we loved it. And one day I was driving down the street after we returned home from a trip, and it was a pretty complicated trip that I'd put together for us. And I thought, I should have been a travel agent. And the opportunity arose, and I thought, you know what? Somebody's trying to tell me something. It's a business. area of my life that I really enjoy doing, and I love doing research. I love being on the computer and putting trips together that are a little bit different. And so I decided to become a travel agent.
Do you think that you have a show called Love Boat really that made people think that, years ago, people thought of cruises only for the very affluent, tuxedos all the time, and gowns, and very stuffy, and really not fun, but more like, hoity-toity, society, Snob Hill, like in San Francisco. Do you think that the great TV series, Love Boat, helped the cruise industry? And if the answer is yes, to which extent?
Oh, absolutely, it launched the cruise industry. I don't think that people really were aware, although I grew up watching Love Boat, if that sort of dates me, but...
No, Love Boat's listen, do you know why it doesn't date you? We saw something the other night on TV. It was a special with Barbara Walters. It went back to her when she didn't even have her nose done. And it showed the top 10 comedy sitcoms of all times. Number 3 was All in the Family, which I love. Number 2 was Seinfeld. I used to book Jerry when his name was Steinfeld. It's true. And number 1 was I Love Lucy. And they said that it's still being shown today in 70 countries. And they showed you how it appeared, Janice, and all of you listening to the Steve Sheldon Show. That, right now, children, teenagers, high school students, college students, college graduates, people that didn't went into entrepreneurs. People of all ages from 5 to 105 now see Lucy. And for them, it's like seeing it for the first time.
Right.
So you don't date yourself when you mention that, because that's still the number 1 shown, aired sitcom in the world.
I have to tell you something funny.
Please
I
do.
went to a trade show, and do you know that, is it Captain Stubing?
Yes, Ted.
Yeah. He is still working for Princess Cruises.
That's right.
He is in their
Wow.
PR department, and I actually have a signed autographed picture of him hanging in my office. He's a dear man.
Yes.
But, Princess and the Love Boat definitely had a huge impact on the cruise industry. It really launched the, I would say, it was the beginning of the
Popularity
of the cruise industry as a real tourism tool, so vehicle.
Right. And people got to say, wait a second, we could do that. It's not just for the very, very few wealthy people from Park Avenue or, say, the West Coast, say, Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
No. So consequently...
and, there are so many different types of cruises out there now. And you mentioned about being stuffy and formal nights and things like that. And, if that's what you want, it's still out there. But if you don't want that, there's so many options to avoid that. And depending, of course, on the kind of cruise, the cruise line that you pick and the ship that you pick.
Sure.
You don't even have to get dressed up anymore if you don't want. You can.
Well, that's a rarity now everywhere, and that's
Yeah.
good to hear. But we always had that Titanic thing with with the everybody in tuxedos and all that, and that was in the pool. Okay. Now, I'd like everybody to know one thing, Janice. The one thing that's very difficult for me to do the show, we pull it off, thank God. However, I have to be cognizant that this show, you don't have to watch like a show like Dallas. You have to see it from beginning to end. Or Alfred Hitchcock, rest is always a good buddy of mine. It's a mystery. You got to watch the entire thing. Here, people are tuning on now, and throughout the show, people come. So I would like to say there are many friends listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon, that our special guest, after all these times of describing her greatness and her knowledge and her caring, and I mentioned on the air just every show, and there's no script here. Now you're saying for the real thing, there is no script here, that you do something very unusual, and not just as a travel specialist, but as a businesswoman. You give out your cell phone. Now, that represents service. So I want to tell everybody your phone number, okay? Janice Rounds, our special guest here, phone number is 702-596-4567. That is 702-596-4567. And that's who you're listening to now in case you're just coming into your car or getting home and turning on the radio to this program. And by the way, saying about radio, I'd like you to write this down now, my close friends. The SteveSheldonShow.com is going to have 24/7. You're going to listen to a lot of good stuff. Okay. Now, we're going to get back to Janice. I just wanted to think about your phone number. And I'm going to be reintroducing you. And then you're going to, can you stay around for the second hour?
Sure.
Great. Okay. So, did you hear the commercial for Villa Roma?
Yes,
That's the only remaining resort in the world-famous Catskill Mountains that started so many stars, from Buddy Hackett to Paul Savino worked here as the social director.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because they had something in their hands and they didn't have the brains. And I know I booked 65 resorts there. They didn't know what they had in their hands. It was so similar to what Love Boat did for the cruises. You know what that was? Dirty Dancing. I'm serious. People always thought...
It's one of my favorite movies.
Mine too. And it's funny, that was filmed in North Carolina. But it had the feel for it. A very good movie. You know, I forgot to bring that book about the Catskills for Janice.
Oh, no.
I apologize. I said I would. Okay, we still have it. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have done the same for the Catskills and the Pocono Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have a clue. They're always so competitive. Are cruise ships competitive, Janice Rounds?
Oh, absolutely, they're competitive. The marketplace right now is filled with so many great deals, and I've seen one of the cruise lines that I think has really stepped up to the marketplace is a Celebrity, which happens to be one of my very favorites.
That's like a 5 or a 6 star.
Well, no, it's considered.
Oh, Celebrity. I'm sorry, I was thinking
Celebrity.
Crystal.
No, not
Celebrity is like the step above.
It's part of the Royal Caribbean family.
RCL, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a step above Royal Caribbean.
Right.
But in most cases,
Mm-hmm.
Royal Caribbean does have some wonderful suites and areas of the ship and features that.
In Central Park now.
Yeah, Central Park. Park Avenue.
Right.
I mean, 10,000 live trees on a couple of the ships, the Oasis and the Allure. I mean, Royal Caribbean has some amazing products. But Celebrity is unique as far as what their product has to offer. And their dining is amazing. And they have real glass-blowing demonstrations on the ship, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's just... And now I haven't experienced it, but I've had 2 different sets of passengers comment to me on how awesome it was to see glass blowing at sea.
Oh,
It's just amazing demonstrations.
And now they have outdoor motion pictures on the big screen.
Yeah, a lot of the cruise lines are getting into that. But
yes,
the pricing on Celebrity has gotten so competitive that between the pricing and the food, which is amazing, it's just really become a really good vendor for me.
Right. You know, I think that of the cruise lines, like you're mentioning, Celebrity, I think that these really the restaurants, as they call them, where you dine, dining areas. To me, they're buffets that you're sitting at, because when they pick up, say, a filet mignon, they will say, "Would you like another?" I mean, it's like all you want. It's just, the menu is extensive.
Yeah. Well, you know what's fun?
People have one of each.
Yeah, in the main dining room when they serve you on these cruise ships in the main dining room, if it's lobster night and you want 3 lobster tails, they'll give you 3 lobster tails.
Right.
You just whatever you want, they'll bring you more of.
Yeah.
And but you don't have to eat in the main dining room either, because they have fabulous specialty restaurants.
And also outdoors.
And
you want to
yes,
get out the ocean, right?
Yeah. And if you just want a hamburger that night, they have places where you go for hamburgers.
24-hour pizza and ice cream and sushi.
Yeah, sushi.
Pizza.
Great. Yeah.
Caesar salad. By the way, one thing, there's a hotel here in Henderson And they have a very expensive. It's amazing. It's probably a lobster buffet. But the thing is, you can only get one piece of lobster at a time, and who wants to stand in line? No, I mean,
Yeah.
So here, that's why I was saying it's similar. I don't want to mention the Hotel M because I don't want to get in trouble. But that's what I'm referring to. And that really can't be. If you tell the truth, you never get in trouble.
That's right.
If you hide it, you do. And the fact is the big, come on, all the lobster you can eat. But who wants to go back and forth and back and forth? I mean, no. But here in the dining rooms on the cruises, they ask you. They don't make you feel like a glutton. And people have one of each, and then they have what they call for laters. That's what the tape actually stated, which I don't know why, because Mal Lawrence is a wonderful comedian. Mal Z. Lawrence. He's from Castles on Broadway. And he does that bit, so I don't want to steal any material from anybody, especially my friend Mal Z. But you don't feel like you're taking advantage because you're not staying in line with everybody watching you. Who sees you? The rest of the people at the table. What are they doing? The same thing.
Absolutely.
Because the food is so good. How do they do that? How do they serve thousands of meals and bring it out so hot?
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. Every time I cruise, I'm absolutely amazed. The galleys on these ships are they're a sight to behold. But I have to tell you about an experience that I had in one of the specialty dining rooms on a cruise that we had.
Can you explain to all our friends? First of all, let me tell you, my dear friends, that we are privileged finally to have Janice Rounds, who we speak about each and every week, from our hearts. And the phone number to reach Janice is 596. Not right now, but just write this down for reference. Anytime you need a vacation. And the second half, we're talking about cruises now. We're going to get into some all-inclusive hotels also, because not everybody likes to be on the water. The number is 702-596-4567. That is 702-596-4567. And I'm reading off a business card in here. You know what? I'm so excited to have Janice here in person. And I have the big print right over here. So here, quickly. And the phone number, which is a cell phone number, for Janice Rounds is 702-596-4567. Have mercy, we did it. Okay, so what is it, Major?
Okay, so we were on a cruise with 4 other couples, so there were 8 of us at a round table. Now, let me explain what a specialty dining room is, first of all.
Thank you.
On the cruise, on most cruise ships, not on all, because there's some that aren't maybe big enough to have them. They have what they call specialty dining. It can be a steakhouse, it can be an Italian restaurant, it can be a French restaurant. There's generally an additional charge, anywhere from $20 to even, depending on the type of dining it is, it could be as much as $75 a person for a chef's table. But generally, $25, $30 a person. Additional charge to go for your specialty dining.
I'm going to stop you for 1 second, may I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to tell everybody something. The thing I will not take for any amount of money any sponsor that I really don't think is the best, and that's restaurants too. And when restaurants change owners and they get lower, if they get lower, I just diplomatically don't do them anymore. Janice will tell you one thing that most might have heard of travel agents saying. And then the second day of a cruise ship, on one line, which I'm going to mention now, they say, gee, I didn't know about that. On Holland American, Janice will tell you that the first night is just $10. The first night on Holland American, if you go to their specialty restaurant, as Janice told me, is $10, not $30 or $40. And the reason being is the first night most people want to get to know who they're going to be seated with. You went with 4 other couples. Is that true?
Yeah.
The first night everybody wants to get to know everybody. And the specialty restaurants don't want to be empty, so they have a special of $10 in Holland American, as you told me.
Yeah. These are things you can only find out from travel agents.
Right.
They're
well, you're very see that's being humble. Not from me. She said travel agents. That's humble.
Other than Steve Sheldon telling you on the air.
But that is very humble.
But there are, we have some other little tricks up our sleeve too that you don't find out about. But let me continue with this story.
Okay.
So
I wanted to mention that.
Yeah,
that's
thank
why
you. I appreciate
help
that.
people, and you brought up the fact of comparison between computer and Janice Rounds. So
Right.
that's why I was
Right.
put that in.
So we're 8 of us sitting at a round table, or we walk in to be seated at a round table, and we are greeted by 4 servers. And the servers all pull the ladies' chairs out at the same time, and they seat us all at the same time. And they bring our food out, covered with silver, silver toppers, and uncover them at the same time and pour our water at the same time. The whole meal was totally orchestrated. We were waited on like royalty. This was probably about 8 years ago. We still all talk about that meal to this day. The food was outstanding. This service was regal, and it cost us $50 for each couple.
Oh, that's not bad at
And
all.
it was a memory of a lifetime. And
That's
there
wonderful.
are more stories like that from cruises, from passengers that I've booked, where just one thing from their cruise or their vacation just stood out. This was an amazing experience.
You know,
Really
they
was.
passed a law in the third capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, where a food service didn't have to get paid they may have to get paid $1 an hour. Now they have to get paid minimum wage. And where the tips are still important, they become less important because they're never going to go home with something. On the cruise ships, the staff, there's no transportation. There's just no electric bills to them. They wake up, they're at work, and they're treated very well. But they depend on tips, and they really give the service because they want those tips.
You bet. And now
Because they don't get a big salary. They may get a few cents an hour the way it works out, and they have to sign a contract, I believe, for 1 year.
Yeah, between 6 months and a year, depending on the cruise line. And they don't get home during that period of time.
Right.
And they're working sometimes as many as 18 hours a day. They get little breaks during the course of the day, but they may work breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then move to the maybe the poolside grill at 10 o'clock at night. They work very, very hard, and they do depend on their tips.
Right.
Yeah, it's very important. And that's
But
probably
they're not
why
hustlers, though. They're not tip hustlers.
No, because generally you always pay at the end of the cruise except for your bar service.
Right.
And that's always, or I'm not going to say always, but generally added onto your bar tab, unless you're on an all-inclusive ship, and there are cruise lines that are all-inclusive. But the cruise lines now are saying instead of, so much for your cabin steward and so much for your main dining room,
Right.
they just tell you, okay, it's so much per person per day for gratuities, and you can
But
just
if you
add it
want,
to your shipboard
you can
account.
say, no, I'd like to tip.
And you can always tip that individual separately.
Right. Or you can have the whole thing taken off and tip as you see fit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But, if you go on Regent or Crystal or any of your river
that's all,
cruises, it's all included,
Mm-hmm.
and so there is no bill to pay when you get off the ship.
I'd like to ask you, do you find that there are certain people, because if one thing happens on a cruise ship, it makes headlines.
Mm-hmm.
There could be 50,000 accidents in the United States. One thing happens on a cruise ship, and it's the news, it's all over. And, I would like, as we have just a few seconds left on this segment, you're going to stay after the news?
Yes, huh?
Great. I'd like to discuss the safety when it comes to cash on board. Okay?
Yeah, one of the...
Now, when we come back.
When we come back, okay.
By the way, we are talking to Janice Rounds, and it's really exciting to have you. And you want to get out your camera in case we go on television. We can put this on our website. Yes, we're going to be on the website, the SteveSheldonShow.com, heard all over the world, because we're getting so... Andy, they put up the Vanna Harris, the last week's program. I believe Jim put it up on the day before or so. I got more calls, emails, and I'm sure I'm going to be getting, that's the second time? Or the first time? Which means we have just about enough time to say, stay with us, because Janice is coming back. Gosh, let me be honest with you, my dear friends. Listen to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. I love the show. Thanks to our wonderful, wonderful friends as yourselves for getting the ratings up. At least something comes up, but the ratings are coming up. And I want to thank all the people that sponsor us. However, I am kind of phony on the air because this is not really me. I'm looking for the real me. I'm only doing this 1 day a week. The rest of the week, I'm unemployed. This is called a radio voice. You know, originally, as you may know, I'm from Poland. So, but I'm going to tell you right now, my dear friends listening to the station, this is the way I usually talk. And right now, my wife and I are having marital problems. I wish I had money for a shrink. I used to go to a shrink. I went to a great psychologist, paid him a fortune. I left. I got tired of paying a man for talking behind my back. But seriously, I'm having problems with my wife. And my wife, Sarah, she's such a nice girl. We've met in Warsaw, Poland so many years ago. And in fact, Sarah, just what's bothering you, Sarah? What's on your mind?
Well, my darling, I hate to get in your business, you know what I mean? But, what about a job? What about the gas and the electricity? Well, not that I am equating a job with your manhood, you understand? But, you did have a choice in this. Take out a small businessman's loan and open up a head shop. I said, but that's not bringing no money in. He said, you working, ain't you? Get off my back. I don't know. You see, I wasn't raised like that, Joe. I figure if I got to get up and go to work every day, then every able-bodied in the household's supposed to get up and go, at least looking. I know it ain't easy out there, but I said, now, if for some reason you feel that you can no longer be the man that I thought you were at the beginning of our relationship, then I got this one thing to lay on you, my sweet. Go away, little boy. Why don't you just go away, little boy?
Oh, Sarah, please. Give me another chance. Please, Sarah, give me one more chance.
Just go on, get out of my life. Now don't stand so close to me when you're trying to get that last goodbye kiss. I know your moves now. Well, don't pull me like this. And don't kiss my eyelids like that. And please don't suck my earlobes like that. And don't. Well, look, you think you can get a job by Thursday? You promise? Now, you ain't gonna fool me this time. Then you might as well stay.
Oh, Sarah, thank you for forgiving me. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm on the air. Let me get back. Sarah, oh, you're so hot. Woo! Have mercy, Sarah. You're so... Okay, you're right, Sarah. I go back to my radio voice. Excuse me for 1 second, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hi, everybody. Yours truly, Steve Sheldon. Back with you on this, your favorite weekend show, hopefully, because I love being here with you, and I hope you love being here with us. I hope you got a laugh out of that. Oh, you did? Well, that's very good to hear. And we have a lot of celebrities and a lot of Gay cow, wait your turn, gay cow. Okay, well, we're back on the air again with my regular radio voice. Right here on your favorite station, the nation's sensation station. We come your way each and every Sunday. My dear, close, sweet friends, listen to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. I want to thank you so very, very much for contributing to the show. Notice what I said. I didn't say to my show, the show, because it's really our show. This show is made for your entertainment. I always thank Susan, who's the producer, does a great, great job. And I always thank Al, and they're all sincere, heartfelt thanks and appreciation. Who I don't want to call a board up, but he is. Plus. And I want to thank you for all of your emails and your phone calls. Because without them, I really wouldn't know where to go. So with phone calls, you can reach me anytime by dialing 702-685-9873. 702-685-9873. There's my private number. It won't be that private now, but and you can always email me, Steve Sheldon at webtv.net. Steve Sheldon, webtv.net. Again, the phone number is 702-685-9873. Now, it seems that most of you enjoyed our Mother's Day medley. And some of you, quite a few of you, were kind enough and hip enough and astute enough and experienced enough and talented enough to share a lot of suggestions of other songs that were omitted. I guess you can't play all. I try to pick out the best. But one that I think, out of all the kind emails we got at Steve Sheldon at webtv.net, or the phone calls that we receive at 702-685-9873, there were a lot of suggestions with songs with the word mother or mama in our medley. But one that was suggested that we will definitely do the next time we do a Mother's Day medley, it may be sometime before Mother's Day, but I'll tell you one thing, it's such a great song that my dear friends listen to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. We are going to share it with you right now.
I wonder why nobody don't like me. Or is it the fact that I'm ugly? I wonder why nobody don't like me. Or is it the fact that I'm ugly? I leave my whole house and go. My children don't want me no more. Bad talk inside the house they bring. And when I talk they start to sing. Mama look out, boo-boo. They shout. Their mother tell them shut up your mouth. That is your daddy. Oh no, my daddy can't be ugly, so shut your mouth, go away. Mama look out, boo-boo day. Shut your mouth, go away. Mama look out, boo-boo day. I couldn't even digest me supper due to the children's behavior. John, yes pa, come here a moment. Ring the belt, you much too impudent. John says it's James who started first. James tells the story in reverse. I dragged me belt from off me waist. You should see them screaming round the place. Mama look up, boo-boo. They shout. Their mother tell them shut up your mouth. That is your daddy. Oh no, my daddy can't be ugly, so shut your mouth, go away. Mama look up, boo-boo day. Shut your mouth, go away. Mama look up, boo-boo day. So I began to question the mother. These children ain't got no behavior. So I began to question the mother. These children ain't got no behavior. They're making fun, my wife declare. You should be proud of them, my dear. These children were taught to bloom in slack. That ain't no kind of joke to crack. Mama look up, boo-boo. They shout. Their mother tell them shut up your mouth. That is your daddy. Oh no, my daddy can't be ugly, so shut your mouth, go away. Mama look up, boo-boo day. Shut your mouth, go away. Mama look up, boo-boo day. Shut your mouth, go away. Mama look up, boo-boo day. Shut your mouth, go away. Mama look up, boo-boo day.
Right, that's Harry Billy Belafonte. Harry Belafonte coming your way to set the scene with the musical. Okay, what am I, rock jock? What is this nonsense? That is Harry Belafonte. We have to give credit where credit is due, and now we want to do that because gracing our microphones today, we're going to do it first time on radio. We're going to compose a commercial, but we left off when I was asking Janice Rounds, who you can reach. Not now, please turn off your cell phones and stop taking pictures, please. And all of you, look, I can't put you down. Before I went to a hypnotherapist, it's true, clinical hypnotherapist, I smoked 2-3 packs a day. And but please, those of you that are listening that still smoke, I can't put you down for it. It's very addictive. But can't you put out the damn cigarettes while I'm on the air? It screws up my voice. So please, my dear friends, if you're smoking, put the cigarettes out. Okay? You just had a commercial break. We'll have another commercial break for that, but not when I'm speaking, please. Especially the Janice Rounds. Our travel agent that you've been hearing about is here in person today, and her number is 702-596-4567. Janice Rounds, 702-596-4567. And Janice, as we went into the news, I was saying that if something happens on media that is really picked up, well, to one person or two people on a cruise ship, and yet, unfortunately, there could be 50,000 accidents in the entire country. What do you hear about the accidents in cars and people pedestrians? No, one thing with a couple, something, party time. Okay, so I'd like to talk about the biggest fear a lot of people have is they don't want to carry a lot of cash with them, anywhere. I'm not talking about a cruise, anywhere. What is the policy on the cruise ship? I think our friends that are listening to the program would find that interesting, and you know better than any of us because you are the utmost travel consultant.
Thanks so much, Steve, for your confidence in me. Cruising is it is a very relaxing way to go. When you're on the cruise ship, when you go up to the pool, you take your towel and your suntan lotion and your book if you want to read.
Now, what happens if you forget your towel?
They have them there by the pool, of course.
That's pampering. That's pampering, huh?
That's pampering. And you don't you leave your money in your room because everything is either
in the safe.
In the safe, yes. Generally, the staterooms have in-room safes for you. And if it happens to be a ship that doesn't have one, you can always get one at the purser's office, which is sort of like your front desk in a hotel. Sure. But they have the cruise lines sort of have established gratuity guidelines. For example, the one I mentioned, Celebrity, earlier in the show. On a 1-week cruise, it's $81.50 per person. At the end of the cruise, you can charge $81.50 per person to your shipboard account, and you're done with your tips. That covers your waiters, that covers your cabin stewardess. You don't have to take money up with you. If you go to the bar, you charge all your bar charges to your shipboard account, and you don't even have to worry about gratuities there because they're so kind. They add them right to the bar bill.
And which one is this?
Celebrity just comes to mind.
Right,
I know
okay.
it's for a 7-day cruise. It's $81.50 a person.
Mm-hmm.
But, all the cruise lines are pretty similar if they're not an all-inclusive cruise.
So unless you want to go into the casino, you don't have to have $1 in cash.
No, you don't. Because even if you go into any of the shops, and the shopping on the ships is phenomenal, you want to buy a pack of gum, you can charge it right to your shipboard account.
Janice, the reason that it's phenomenal is because you don't have to pay any taxes, and they buy in such great quantity.
Right.
I mean, look at here. Believe it or not, and for those of you that drink vodka, I remember seeing Absolute. The only size I've ever seen of this particular brand, which I'm not saying is a better or worse, I don't know.
It's a great brand.
Yeah, okay. I love their ads. They take in the back page of the New York Times, a full page, and you see a lot of whites. And the more whites you see in print, the more effective it is. And that's how it became very popular. A little catchy phrase with the bottle of Absolute. But they have a bottle made specially for cruise ships, which is 25% more. And because there are no taxes, it's usually as high as 40% less.
Well, yeah, if you don't mind carrying those bottles of alcohol through the airports if you're flying home, they're generally less money, and then you also don't have to pay sales tax on them, so the savings can be significant.
Sure.
But another great thing is on jewelry.
Right.
They're almost always 20-25% less than you find stateside. And then you add the fact that, for example, in Southern Nevada, what is our sales tax? 8.1%. So you don't have to pay that. That's an automatic savings. You just have to be careful how much you purchase when you're going out of the country because there is this thing called federal duty.
Right.
But other than that, but you can charge all of that to your shipboard account.
Sure.
So, you don't have to carry.
And a lot of these cruises do have their own credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually saving more money because they give you extra perks.
Yeah, you can, just like Southwest has their own credit card or American Airlines has their own credit card, you can actually get credit cards for the cruise line and earn cruises.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you don't have to worry about carrying money on your cruise ship at all.
So let's establish this. Am I accurate when I say, and you're the expert, that you can literally go on the cruise, put your money in a safe if you don't want to gamble in a casino, and just walk the entire deck to any place, buy anything you want, without having 1 cent with you?
Absolutely. You're 100% accurate.
Okay.
100% accurate.
That's great. And that's important to know because, if there was just one thing happens, one person, whatever happens, it's on the news for it's boring. It's worse than the elections. I'm so bored with these elections. You have no idea. God, it's boring. The money that's wasted because one side will lose billions of dollars to all the homeless people. Okay, so would you like to do a commercial? You see, when I discuss you as a travel consultant and specialist, it's never a commercial. I endorse you because I believe that you're fine. And I know just for the fact, and you don't have to be a college graduate to know, that if somebody is going to give you service, they will. But if somebody will give you special service, like Janice, who's our guest today, on the Steve Sheldon Show, will give you the cell phone. That's the utmost sign of caring. And I repeat this a lot because I found this very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, that is the number I use for business. Some people use an 800 number or they'll have a separate phone line. That is my business number. And, when I'm home, that number is actually forwarded to my house.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm out and about, you can get hold of me.
Right.
And I'm available, I tell people from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific, which is unusual for a travel agent. But in truth, if I'm home, I don't know if it's a customer calling at 10 o'clock at night or a friend or a relative.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody really wanted to and I've been known to be on the phone with customers at 11 o'clock at night. Not that I like to do it, but if it's important, absolutely. And something else I wanted to mention, too, which we never bring up, but I think it's a really important thing about my business.
Good.
I work for a company called Expedia Cruise Ship Centers, and we are owned by Expedia.
We've mentioned that before on the air.
Oh, yeah. And along with the service you get from me, should you be traveling and not be able to get hold of me and have a problem, you have the 24-hour, 7-day-a-week customer service line of Expedia behind me. So, and we also have great buying power because of that.
Now, does that mention every show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Andy in there. Every show, when I do the difference between going by yourself on a computer, and then I'm logical with all our friends that listen and say, who's going to get it? And I talk to myself as a theatrical agent. I have a lot of customers, too, potential customers. Well, I don't need you. I can go on a computer. I said, yeah, but what do you have to offer? One job? I said, mention a comedian. They can mention a comedian. I said, well, I've only booked the comedian 400 times, but more importantly, I can give them, you have an affair, a dinner dance. Fine, great, they get paid. But I can give them 500 jobs. I already have. And the most important thing is, I may give them a job for $320. Well, how can you, what do you mean? You saying you can give us? No, I said, no. But if I give it to Jay, the Tonight Show, that's such a career builder.
Well, there's even something more important than that. There's the importance of matching the correct entertainer to the right group.
Correct.
And I can help you match the right cruise
you custom
ship
design
and
right.
cruise line to what you're looking for.
True.
If somebody loves high tea, I know what cruise line to put them on. I know if somebody's looking to take cooking classes, I can tell you.
They have cooking classes?
They actually have, 2 cruise lines actually have culinary
institutes. Who teaches them? Somebody from the outside or a staff member?
No, the chefs from the ship.
Oh, that's great.
They actually have culinary institutes where you can go and you can cook with one of the chefs from the ship in a whole special kitchen area that they've designed for the passengers.
Mhm.
There are 2 of them.
Mhm.
2 different cruise lines have them that I'm aware of.
Which ones?
Holland America has it, and Oceania has it. And so, but it's really a matter of taste. I know if Grandma and Grandpa want to take a trip to the Caribbean and they want to take their son and their daughter and all the grandkids, what ship's better for them? What ports are better for them? I can help with all of that, So I'm planning a honeymoon for somebody right now. I'm helping them with their excursions because, the cruise lines will scare you into thinking you can only book your excursions through them. Because what happens if they get you back late and you miss the boat?
Oh, yes.
How are you going to get to the next port? Well, I have to tell you. And you definitely don't want to book an excursion from somebody who's just standing down on the pier with a sign because that could happen.
Yes.
That's dangerous. You don't know what you're getting into. But travel agents, such as myself, we have other vendors we work with. You'll get much smaller groups. I took one in Jamaica through one of my vendors. Our group was one other couple, and they happened to be travel agents. That was our group and our minivan. You'll get smaller groups, you'll get better pricing, and you'll get better personalized service. And many times it's the same vendors the cruise lines use. It's just they've set up a separate tour through this other company. So, and it's recommended. It's a recommended vendor by Expedia, and Expedia is not going to recommend somebody who's going to make you miss the boat.
Right.
And if that should happen, and the one company I highly recommend it's never happened in their 25-year history. If that should happen, they guarantee they will fly you to the next port.
That's a great record.
So, there are a lot of reasons to use somebody such as myself. I happen to be an accredited cruise counselor with Cruise Line International Association. I hold an IATAN card.
And what does an IATAN mean?
That is you have to have a certain level of volume in business in order to earn it. You can't just, you can't be new in the business. And there are certain agencies out there who don't qualify. Their companies don't belong to it's the International Airline Transportation Association. That's sort of the gold standard of the travel industry. For many years, it was the only credential that a travel agent needed. Now there are others, like the Cruise Line International is called a CLIA card. They're specifically cruises, but the IATA card is more broad-based. So,
well, we're getting a great education, my dear friends, listening to yours truly, Steve Sheldon from Janice Rounds, if you're just joining us now. And we've been giving out a number. We shall do so quickly, but I'll do it very quickly now, may I? Thank you. Thank you. It is 702-596-4567. That is 702-596-4567. Now, I have one question for you before we start to do some commercials, if we do. Living in Florida, before I move back here to the third capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Either you go to Port Everglades, which is a quick ride from where I lived. That's in Fort Lauderdale. Or Port of Miami, another quick ride. If you didn't have a neighbor or a friend that would take you, you just drive and park there. What do you do now when you're staying in Las Vegas? We have an airport, but we don't have an ocean.
Oh, it's real simple.
Well, please, is that a valid question?
Yeah, absolutely. And the cruise lines have gotten really savvy, and they've created what they call home porting, where they're building a lot more ports within driving distance. They're trying to do within like 500 miles considered a drive. From Las Vegas, you could go, of course, to Los Angeles, San Diego. San Francisco has a lot more cruises stopping there now. And
How about Long Beach?
Well, Los Angeles, Long Beach area.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And, now if you don't mind a little longer drive, you can cruise out of Galveston.
How long a drive would that be?
Well, my son actually drove to Houston, which isn't that far away. It took him about 2 days. So you know you can do it if you want. At least you don't have to drive all the way to Florida. But the thing is, you can do a Western Caribbean cruise from Galveston or New Orleans, and you don't have to fly to Florida to do it. So, and
now, what is that? It's always so confusing.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference? Can you tell our many friends, please, Janice Rounds? What is the difference between Western and Eastern Caribbean? That is so confusing, especially when you call up. That's why I can't stand when you talk to it. You call up the cruise lines directly. And do you want Western or Eastern Caribbean? How the hell do I know? I've never,
Well, your Western Caribbean would be ports like Cancun, Cozumel, Belize, Roatan. Eastern Caribbean, you've got Nassau, St. Thomas, St. Martin. Then you've got in the southern. Then there's also what they call the Southern Caribbean. You're going to have Aruba and Barbados. Okay.
You know, it's interesting. Years ago, when I started the cruise, there was what's that great beach in the port you just mentioned, St. Thomas? Mm-hmm. Is it Mogan's Bay or
Megan's Bay?
Megan's Bay. And that was terrific until everybody got aware of it. Like orange roughy when I moved to California. What the hell kind of fish is this orange roughy? Is that any relation to lemon wiki? What is orange roughy? It was 2 cents a pound. Nobody knew what it was. It was a white fish from wherever. New Zealand, I believe. Do you tell people about it? It goes up. The same thing that happened with St. Thomas. Now people, at least I did, I enjoyed it, get together and take a ferry and then a taxi to what I think is one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen, St. John.
St. John is fabulous, but I have to tell you, there's a hidden gem in that neck of the woods called Virgin Gorda. It is a British Virgin Island. You have to take a puddle jumper or a ferry boat to get there. And there is a beach there called the Baths that is absolutely the most beautiful beach I've ever seen.
Like pink talcum powder and that type?
No, but it has these huge boulders on the beach that have been rounded by the ocean in time, and they're sort of caves that you can walk through, and the water is sloshing back and forth within the caves, and the light is shining through them. And it is just absolutely, it is so unique and so beautiful. And the snorkeling there is just absolutely amazing. We're avid snorkelers. We've snorkeled all over. And it's just really an experience. In fact, we took a 6-person plane from St. Thomas over there.
How was it? Were you nervous?
I was a little nervous, but actually it was fun. But the fun part was when we went to land, he had to circle the runway to clear the goats. So that was enough to clear the goats and
chickens. You've been on all the cruise ships, probably.
Not all of them,
let me say
a
all
lot
the
of
cruise
them.
lines. I think the best one that I've ever seen, they all have their private islands.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Holland American's Island.
Yeah, to be very honest, I have not been on Holland American's Island. Which one is that?
I don't remember, honestly.
I can't remember all of them.
But it's like pink sand, very private.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Calypso Music Man. Yes, Calypso Music Man. And they have barbecue, hamburgers and franks. But it was like walking on pink talcum powder. And the ocean, I went in, and I used to be a lifeguard back east. You could see your entire body.
Yeah. The private islands, people go, oh, it's nothing. But the private islands are wonderful because they're all owned by the cruise lines. They're developed by the cruise lines, and they make them very special for their passengers. They really do.
It's really pamper time on the cruises.
Yeah, they are. They're great. That's one of my favorite ways to vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I enjoy it. I work for a company that specializes in cruises, but I also do all forms of travel.
And that's what we were going to get into right after this.
Mm-hmm. Your love lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore.
the most boring thing ever on television that, pardon the expression, O.J. chase. If that was ever in a movie, people would fall asleep. But because it was done live, there was interest. And we have spies down here. Not spies with their job, but they're really shoppers. That's a more opportune word. And they call from all over the country to find new talent. And I'm very flattered, even though I went to college in Boston, Emerson College, that somebody from Boston is trying to induce me with a lot of, money and extras and bonuses and whatever to go to Boston. And the guy says, but you're very local. Of course I'm local. What am I going to talk about? Czechoslovakia? I mean, this is the dumbest thing in the world. But Boston also, and I didn't hit it off too well, I started to say, this really happened. I cannot make this up. When I went to Boston, it was to start Emerson College and major in broadcasting. I might have spent 2.5 months because when I didn't say Long Island, or I didn't say Torty-Toyd anymore, and I could say Long Island, 33rd, and more instead of Mo, then I dropped out of Emerson College. But I remember the first day when I got off at Logan Airport, and I remember the dormitory, the food, the kitchen wasn't equipped yet, and everybody was starving. So where does a New Yorker go? To find a great deli. Now here's what I was saying. So now you go to I get into Logan Airport, I'm nervous, it's my first time going to a college, naturally. I'm in Boston, and the kitchen is not equipped, so where do I wind up? Ken's of Copley Square. Ken's was like the deli of Boston, okay? I sit down, and the waitress's name was Grace. I still remember this. I pick up the menu, and I see pastrami is spelled with an O instead of an A. So Grace came over and said, may I take your order? I said, yes, I would like to have a sandwich, please. I would like a hot pastrami. And Grace, the waitress, said, light or dark? I said, light or dark? I don't care what color the pastrami is. Just whatever color you serve it. It's pastrami. I don't discriminate against color with people. Why should I discriminate with color against pastrami? So, no, what do you want it served on? Light or dark? Then I realized dark is probably, what would it be, wheat bread or pumpernickel, whatever. I thought light was white bread. Now, no self-respecting New Yorker could ever order pastrami on white and live to talk about it. That is so taboo. No respecting from Chicago, L.A., where they have Dayton Owls, here where they have cats. Nobody can order. Okay, I didn't know that light meant rye bread. So I said, okay, you know what does light mean? And she said, well, it's kind of rye bread. That's fine. And Grace said, Sissel? I said, no, my name is Steve. She said, no, do you want Sissel? I said, no, you're doing a good job so far. No, but do you want Sissel on your sandwich? I said, who is Sissel? I never met him before. Find out, my friends, Sissel is another word for caraway seeds, which comes on rye bread, which they in Boston call light. Okay? So I said, well, wait a second. Maybe you would like a bulky. I'm saying to myself, what the hell is a bulky? I'm trying to get through this hot pastrami spelled with an O, lighted dax, Sissel and all this, and now she hits me with, maybe you'd like it on a bulky. I said, excuse me, what is a bulky? Where are you from? That's right, Boston. Where are you from? I said, I'm from New York City. Oh, there I believe they call it a Kaiser roll. I said, okay, I will have the hot pastrami on a bulky. Okay. So now I'm starving. She comes out with a big, large hot pastrami sandwich on a bulky and says to me, and I can't make this up, my friends. I mean, this is 100% true. You can't make this up. You just have to have a great memory, which thank God I do, except for last week when I forgot the Alamo. But I usually remember things. So consequently, when she brought out the hot pastrami on a bulky, she looked at me and said, would you like some tonic? My friends, I proceeded to look at my right shoulder and my left shoulder for dandruff. Because in those days, tonic was something like Wild Root or Brill Cream or Vitalis. And I'm looking for dandruff. I thought she was being nice and insinuating that I had dandruff. I said, do I want some tonic with my pastrami? Do I need any? And she really said, only if you're thirsty. My friends, can you picture eating a pastrami sandwich with Brill cream? I said, I'm thirsty, but I don't want tonic. She said, what would you like? I said, give me, please, a vanilla soda. And Grace said, what kind of ice cream? Ice cream? I don't want ice cream. Who has ice cream with pastrami? I want a vanilla soda. She said, well, you ordered a soda that comes with ice cream. I said, if I tell you how to make something, could you do it, please? She said, well, I'll try my best. I said, thank you, Grace. I want vanilla syrup, and I stopped myself. I was very proud of myself. I wouldn't dare say seltzer. Club soda. She said, vanilla syrup and club soda? I said, yes, Grace. Why didn't you say so? You want a vanilla phosphate. That's what they call soda in Boston. A vanilla phosphate. Okay? I say, all right, that's what I want. She said, well, wait a second. Maybe you'd like a frap. I said, I've already used the men's room. She said, no, a frap. Do you know what a frap is? I said, please, I'm so thirsty. I want to eat my pastrami while it's still hot instead of cold or by bulky. Okay? And I don't have dandruff, thank God. Okay. That really was my first experience in Boston.
Ah, yes, and life is filled with experience, my close friends. Listen to yours truly, Steve Sheldon, who is both excited and delighted to have Miss Janice Rounds gracing our microphone today, and right after I talk about something that's I'd like to thank and express. We're going to be talking about all-inclusive, so get your friends called. No, not on cell phones, but write it down. Then afterwards you can tell your friends. Because a lot of you, some of you, a portion of you, that's more diplomatic, a portion of you, a portion, yes, a portion. La portion of a nine. Remember that by the Coasters? Have mercy. Would prefer to stay on land. So Janice is also very, very educated, aware, and helpful on helping you plan a land vacation, which we're going to get into. However, I would like to take this time. I don't have to. I would like to thank, again, the Las Vegas Israelites. Now, I owe them, not contractually, I owe them because they have let you know about this program. And I'm grateful to the Tell family because they have chutzpah, they have balls, they have guts, man. You imagine this one, this is called the Mississippi of the West. Okay? They started 48 years ago when people like Sammy Davis Jr., rest his soul, couldn't even go in the front of a hotel. They started the Las Vegas Israelite. And you know what? They're still doing fantastic. They get better and better each year. 48 years. The Las Vegas Israelite. Why? Because it caters to everyone. I'm going to just flip over this now. And you just, anything you want to know is in the Israelite. Plus, I'm going to repeat myself again, and I love this. They have the Mayo Clinic, which is so very informative about living longer, living better, being healthier. I'm looking right now. A very, very fine coupon, more than most publications I see, for Red Rock Pizza. Now, I haven't been there, but after reading this and with the coupon as an incentive, why not try it? I've tried other places that advertises in the Israelite, and we've liked just about everyone. Right? We liked everyone. Now, again, San Gennaro Feast. I wouldn't have known the San Gennaro Feast was here if it wasn't for reading it in the Las Vegas Israelite. Because now I'm into the politics because I want to be contemporary on the program. I didn't see it on TV, but I did see it in the Israelite, as many of you have as well. And this every type of... here's something very impressive. You know, they have, not these crazy flyers, they have in the Israelite, I see right now, Smith's. Then I see the San Gennaro Feast. Beautiful, beautiful. Then Albertsons, you know, and certain specials you don't see in the flyers, the Israelite does get. You also see Vaughn's Markets. But it's not limited to that. It's there's a learning center for children. There's a great place. I love the name of this, originally being from New York. Groomingdale's for pet grooming. I think it's great. So again, I thank Michael Tell and for carrying on the tradition of the Tell family. You know, you cannot be
doing a newspaper. I mean, I'm from New York. And when I was, say, 48 years ago in New York, okay, they had the New York Times. They still do. But they had the Herald Tribune, out of business. The World Telegram and Sun, out of business. The Daily Mirror, out of business. And about 3 or 4 other papers. This is in New York City. Now, to be here in Las Vegas, the dirt capital of the world, and to be in business for 48 years, I want to congratulate Michael Tell and his staff. And I'm saying here's a buffet I never would have known about. So they have every type. I mean, it's real. And the veterans. I see pictures of a couple of friends of mine because they have done shows. Pizza, and they have a very good writer, Jack Beluvsky, and he knows how to write about restaurants, and very complete. And so I want to just say, when you have the opportunity, make it a point to get the Las Vegas Israelite. It's very, very informative, and you can laugh, but they always have a one-liner from Henny Youngman, rest his soul, and they have great articles like, for your health, there's no more respected clinic than the Mayo Clinic. Okay, and there's no more respected travel agent than our guest today, Janice Rounds. Welcome back.
Thank you, Steve. I have to tell you something about the Israelite.
Okay.
My wedding announcement was published in the Israelite 45 years ago.
Wow, that's great.
I've been in town a long time.
Wow. And they were in business in 3 years.
Huh? Yeah.
They were in business 3 years.
Yeah, 45 years ago.
That's pretty damn good if you can be in the dirt capital of the world. And even the Sun has a little insert in the RJ, which I don't like. I like competition. Yeah. I like when I mentioned 3 or 4 different major markets, since we're talking about Boston markets. Okay, getting back to the people that prefer a cruise on land. I'm sorry.
A cruise on land.
Okay,
that's what they really are.
Okay, great.
That's really
we have a sponsor, Villa Roma. And I refer to them as a cruise on land. So tell everybody about what you're involved with, because the only one that I have spoken about, because I've been with us since April, and which has got the thing for the following 6 months, thank God. And tell us about the all-inclusive for people that would rather do that. And which is the closest one to the dirt capital, even though we're here to love the world.
Which is the closest one would probably I would say, they have all-inclusive hotels and resorts in Cabo San Lucas. They have them in Puerto Vallarta. They have them in Loreto. So if you want to get close, those would be the closest that I can think of offhand. But there are all-inclusive resorts all over the Caribbean and really all over the world. It doesn't have to be a Sandals or a Beaches or a Secrets, although I sell all of those and they're all wonderful. But there are many hotel chains now that are all-inclusive. Or you can take all-inclusive options where you buy a meal plan, and that also includes entertainment. I did one in Puerto Vallarta a couple years ago, and I thought, this just got to be just like what it was like in the Catskills, because every night we had a different show, and they even had a Las Vegas night one night, and it was really funny because the Las Vegas night first they had a little entertainment, and then they had some table games. And I won the blackjack tournament. I was so excited. I never play here, but there I played, and I think I won $50. I was really excited about that. So. It wasn't all inclusive as far as doing things like parasailing and stuff, but all my meals were included, all the drinks were included, all the,
Let me ask you one thing. Right now, if somebody wanted to come to Las Vegas, could you set them up?
Sure, absolutely.
Because one thing I like to say, that the Las Vegas, there's a new series coming out. It's amazing. We discussed I Love Lucy before. Remember?
Yes, and I got to tell you something about that, too.
Okay, but this is important for you, Janice. Okay, they, in those days, black and white, a Cuban band leader, and you couldn't tell married to a redhead, Lucy, whose son now lives in Boulder City. But I'd like you to know about the hotels now. So that lasts all these years. Now there's a new show coming on called Vegas or Las Vegas. Okay, it'll probably last 3 weeks, because a year ago, my friend Hugh Hefner, God love him, had a TV show coming out that Linda, his daughter, was taking care of, called the Playboy Club, it lasted 2 episodes. They don't develop anything. It's just, boom, you either get the ratings like the first, second. They don't give you a chance to build.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm saying right now, I'd like everybody that's listening to know that Las Vegas is more than a casino. They have tennis. They have spas. Don't they offer a lot of things?
Oh, God, the spas are amazing.
Okay. And they do have tennis and swimming pools.
Yes.
And lots
And
of things
golf,
that you find on a cruise.
Fabulous golf resorts.
Which, okay.
Fabulous golf resorts.
Okay.
And the entertainment, of course, is world-renowned.
Correct.
And we have a grape stomp, just like I Love Lucy. You know, one of the most favorite episodes from Lucy is when she did her grape stomp. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, but it gives me a bad memory because my grandmother, may she rest in peace, got fired from a job in the old country after 35 years. You see, she was, stepping on grapes, stomping with her feet, and they fired her one day for sitting down on the job.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, go ahead. We're talking about I Love Lucy the Janice Rounds.
That is one of the most memorable shows of I Love Lucy.
Yes.
And you'd mentioned Pahrump earlier. Well, there
Of
actually
course
is a
they have.
fabulous winery in Pahrump.
Mm.
And they have a wonderful restaurant, and the grounds are beautiful.
Why are the hotels so overpriced there?
In Pahrump?
It's 3 times as much as the hotels here.
In
Yeah,
Pahrump?
I don't know why.
Oh, I haven't.
I've looked at Saddle West and whatever hotels there. I mean, here you get great value.
I don't know, but what I was going to say is coming up in October is their annual grape stomp.
Oh.
Mm.
And you could actually go out there and stomp grapes, and a bunch of us are going to do that. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to watch. But
Can that be a day trip also?
Oh, yeah. It's a day trip. It's like 90 minutes from here, and it's so much fun.
Mm.
And they have wine tastings. And it's just
they have a big
fun
festival. I was reading in the paper today. This weekend. Yes.
It's I don't know about this weekend, but this one
I'm
is
sure.
first. I like the 6th of October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is a fun thing. But getting back to the all-inclusives, there are all-inclusives that are just for couples. There are all-inclusives where you can take your family. So, it's whatever you're looking for, I can find it for you.
I want to ask you this for our friends that are listening, Janice. Mm-hmm. Now I've seen certain hotels that that are grouped together, like 5 different. I mean, excellent, major hotels.
Mm-hmm.
They will give you like 6 buffets in a certain amount of hours for one price.
Mm-hmm.
You add that to the room, then you have an all-inclusive.
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can buy some packages like that.
Would you say if you have somebody call you, would you recommend coming to Las Vegas?
Well, sure. Listen, I've lived here for 50 years.
Was it better now?
Obviously, I like Las Vegas.
Did you like it better when you first moved here or now?
I don't know that I like it better. It's different. Even today, if I drive down the strip, my eyes pop. I can't believe what I'm seeing. When I mentioned that we've been married 45 years. We actually got married at the Dunes in a suite overlooking the Strip. And I remember the view from our suite looking down the Strip.
That's nice.
And when I see the overview...
Did you have dinner with Sultan Stable?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We sure
and did you have Sasha Semenoff playing the violin?
We sure did, absolutely.
Yes, he started in the Catskills at Esther Manor, yeah.
And, now when you see the overview of the Strip, it's breathtaking.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wouldn't say it's one or the other were better. They're just different. I did like the old days. I liked it when people dressed.
I miss that very much.
I miss that. When I see people with backpacks in the nicer casinos here,
terrible.
It breaks my heart.
Did you know Marietta Hot Springs?
I know Marietta very well.
I booked all the talent there for Morris Schenker, who owned the Dunes. He and Lillian Schenker, his wife, and author their son. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I came here as a child. I remember my mother in winter bringing her mink coat, and we would get dressed up in our finest to go to the shows.
One quick thing, how come there's no dancing in the showrooms?
In the showrooms? Yeah. No dancing?
No. You mentioned the Catskill Mountains. They have shows, when they have a Latin band,
I don't know. You'd have to ask the mob who started Las Vegas. They didn't do it that way. and it never evolved in that manner, you know. So
because on the cruise ships that you were mentioning before, they have like 7 and 8 clubs, every type of dancing there is. They have a lot of dancing on
but
cruises.
the dancing venues aren't in the showrooms.
No,
they're
not
different.
at all. Right.
They're different
Maybe
places.
it's insurance. It could be in the insurance too.
It could be, yeah. Well, you think about it now. The showrooms are so specialized to whatever show is being produced. There's no way they could put a dance floor up there and have whatever it is be.
Do you miss the lounges as I do?
Well, yeah, I do. There was a lot of great entertainment came out of those lounges. You know,
Louie and Keeley, the Mary Kay Trio, the Treniers,
you know, the
the
last of the Mary
Sunspots.
Kay Trio just passed away.
With Norman?
No, Norman passed away years ago.
I'm sorry, I liked it.
It was the other gentleman. I don't remember his name, but I just
Not
saw it in the paper
Dick
recently.
Fox?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a friend of mine,
Yeah, but you know, it was different.
They had Beverly and the Sneakers. You remember them?
No, you know those.
No, Cedro's Armada. That was, yeah.
Oh, yes, I remember.
And the most
Cedro's
famous
Armada,
one
yes.
was found by my late friend Dave Victorson. May he rest in peace at Caesars.
Yeah.
He went to the some disco, some club, and found the Checkmates. They were hot. And talking about
Checkmates
hot,
were amazing.
this has been a Bobby Stevens and Sweet Louie. You know,
great.
I thank you for gracing our show. Would you like to come back someday?
Sure.
We didn't do the commercials on the air, and we didn't have any questions. This is all ad lib, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I thank you for them. I know how busy you are.
Thank you for having me.
And my pleasure. And I hope you win a Mahjong.
Thank you. I do. Can
Susan,
I say?
thank you. And I've got to thank our board up. I don't have to, but I want to. Andy, as always, I owe you my greatest gratitude, and you have it from my heart. Thank you. Go ahead, Janice.
I just wanted to say that our company right now is having a couple of fantastic specials. We've got.
We can't do it now. We've got 4 seconds to say next week we'll talk about it.
Okay. Thanks so much, Steve.
Incredible. My dear friends, listen to yours truly, Steve Sheldon. Wow, the way time goes by, the program's just about to come to an end. However, I come in here with no script, just some names spelled phonetically, and from Dairy Queen, Gay Cow, and the Laugher, and whatever. But you know what? I have some papers here, and I read off some papers. Also, not much, so I'm going to get my props, pack up, and get ready to go.
I'm packing up. Ready, packing up. I'm on anyhow. Packing up. Well, I'm just packing up, getting ready to go. Just packing up, getting ready to go. Just packing up, getting ready to go. Just packing up, getting ready to go.
Wow, I can't believe it. No script. Another hour went by like it was 5 minutes, thanks to the wonderful people who listen and call and participate, and a terrific engineer. Gee, it's such a feeling of accomplishment. I'm really blessed to be doing what I love.